know, but if we catch the guy, we don't know. We don't know how it cracked. It just happened, and they don't know when exactly it happened or how it cracked, but it cracked sometime around 1840s. They found out that it didn't sound too well. Somebody decided to go up there and take a look at it. And I think the first article was in the Ledger, Public Ledger, a newspaper at that time in Philadelphia, was in 1845, I believe it was, and actually said anything about cracking a Liberty Bell. The only written article or published article that said anything about the bell hanging in the tower. They didn't call Liberty Bell at that time. The bell in the tower being cracked, and it was unusable. And so they did take it down from the tower at that time. But until that time, they don't know. They don't know really. It was probably cracking before that slowly, you know. Crack just kept growing until it started to sound like nothing. Somebody realized something wrong with the bell. They went up there and checked it, and it was cracked. They had to take it down. But that's what happened. We don't know. Okay? Any else?
What street is the Betsy Ross house?
What?
The Betsy Ross house on the street.
Where is it at? It's on Arch Street between 3rd and 2nd. Okay, so Arch Street is 2 blocks down that way, and then you have to walk down just past across 3rd Street. Let's see it there. It's a nice place to visit. It's not part of our park system. The city of Philadelphia runs the Betsy Ross house. It's been all redone a few years back. It's a self-guided tour through there. You go from the basement up to the 3rd floor, walking all around. And it's kind of interesting to see how homes were built and how the people lived in those days. It's very nice. And while you're there, if you do go to look at the Betsy Ross house, just down to 2nd Street, turn left, half a block down, across on 2nd Street, there is Elfrid's Alley. Elfrid's Alley. Some of the oldest homes still in use, being lived in, are on Elfrid's Alley. The homes are from the 1600s, early 1600s. They're still occupied, and there is one of them that's open as a sample so you can walk and see how they were built, how they were made. But that's an interesting street to take a look at, Elfrid's Alley. Just walk around the corner and take a look at Elfrid's Alley there. Cobblestone Street, just wide enough for a horse and wagon to get down, you know? Really neat. Okay? Well, that was already planned right from the beginning.
We're in Independence Hall.
I'll try to get up front.
Well, welcome to Independence Hall. Independence Hall wasn't always called Independence Hall. Really wasn't built for that purpose. It was built to be a Pennsylvania State House to provide more than adequate space for the ever-growing government and province of Pennsylvania in those days. The building itself was started in 1732, which coincidentally happened to be the same year that our first president was born, and his name was the first president.
Oh, Johnson's dad.
First president. Okay, it's kind of ironic, I like to mention that, but the two events come together again here in later years. The building is a splendid example of Georgian architecture. You can tell by the symmetry of the building, drawing a line right down the center. Exactly the same on one side as it is the other. It's characteristic of Georgian architecture, and it's evident throughout the building. First floor, we're seeing talking about 2 large chambers. Pennsylvania Supreme Court chamber, which we're in now. In a few moments, we'll see the assembly room across the hall there. Our Pennsylvania Supreme Court chamber was restored to appear much as it was in the 1780s, which is the period right after the Revolutionary War. It probably resembles a typical 18th century English courtroom. Always up on the highest level, the judges' benches, 3 to 5 judges normally sat at a court session. Small enclosed area here next to the judges' benches was the petty jury box. 12 men would sit on the petty jury deciding on a guilty or innocent verdict, person being tried. And the 2 larger enclosed areas were grand jury boxes. 12 to 20 men usually comprised the grand jury. They would decide whether cases were important enough or if there was enough evidence to a case to take it to a trial by a jury. Table in the Senate employers, our lawyer's table. It was customary in those days for lawyers from both sides of the case to be sitting at the same table. We have one precious article there I'd like to point out, the painting you see above the judges' benches. Painting of our Pennsylvania coat of arms dates back to about 1785, and that is the original painting that was hanging here during that time period. You may have noticed to enter our court through large spacious open arches. Court cases and court sessions in those days were always sprayed open to the public. You're not Philadelphia citizens walking along the street, just pop in, stand where you are behind the rail, and observe court sessions going on at any time. Yeah, I wanted to get into a little story, tell you a little bit about some of the events that occurred that made independence also important to us here. To get into that story, we jump back in time a little bit. Have to go back to about the 1760s or so. King George III was ruling over there in England. He began imposing some harsh and stringent trade restrictions on our colonial merchants over here in America. At the same time, Parliament thought it'd be a good time to start imposing some taxes on the colonists, claiming that they needed this money to help support and pay for the government that they were providing for us over here in America. Well, this thing began to get a little bit out of hand, so we began to complain, and we began to protest, and then our merchants began protesting in public. And the public protests were the key to the situation because they started little acts of violence occurring around the colony. Kind of started that little kindling flame burning here in America and turned into a fire and just burned a trail right towards independence and liberty. Right here in Independence Hall, a mass meeting was held one day. The people just rushed in on their own and decided to adopt some resolution to boycott English goods and English trade. So we all stopped buying English-made material. We began to turn away the English ships from our Philadelphia port here along the Delaware River. And we began to harass those tax collectors. Now you see tensions are growing. People are getting a little excited. Another important area, the same sort of thing was going on, Boston, Massachusetts. It got worse up there because the British decided to close that port off completely and not let anybody's goods or services get into the Boston area. Well, the colonists began to get a little concerned about the situation. Thought they should elect some delegates and send them up here to Philadelphia to hold a meeting and see what can be done about it. Coming here for the first time in September of 1774, they formed the First Continental Congress. That Congress met in Carpenter's Hall for that first meeting, and that's about a block and a half east of here. During that meeting, we did little else more than to complain again strongly to the king about these taxes and trade restrictions. We did send him a nice long petition, which we all signed, asking him to please restore the free rights and privileges that Englishmen were enjoying over there in England to our American colonists here in America. We weren't making demands for independence. We weren't talking about breaking away from the people at that time. That Congress adjourned. Wow, King George III didn't pay any attention to stuff. It all went down the tubes. Taxes continued. The trade restrictions continued. Our skirmishes now are getting wild and widespread. And war breaks out in 1775 compared to Lexington and Concord area. And now our colonists are really concerned about this problem. He started to get them delegates together again. Send them up here to Philadelphia to hold another meeting. Coming here for the second time, they formed the Second Continental Congress. That's the Congress that met in Independence Hall in our assembly room, which we're going to visit in a moment to continue the story. Before we move out, any questions about this Pennsylvania Supreme Court change?